Good day, YouTube. It's the 21st of February, 2023. And we're in the shop this morning because I got a project I really want to work on that I picked up a few days ago. We'll see it here in a second. Um, Here's kind of a little update on what we're doing at the moment. I was waiting on belts for that machine there. That's the big O Scott's 20 horse, 48-inch cut. I just was waiting on the belts for the deck and the drive belt. And they're actually here, but I don't want to work on it today. My snapper walk behind, I got that thing for free. That's the 8 3/4 horsepower self-propelled rear bagger that I got for free. Waiting on a carburetor for it. It's still not here. So it's off to the side. No big deal. I did order some miscellaneous parts for it, however, and they are here. So once the carburetor shows up, we'll be able to finish that one up. Got the engine all tuned up. Got a video on this thing. This is the Yard Man, right? It's got the 18.5 horse Intech engine in it. It's fully serviced. It's ready to go. It made a mess. Oil, when the oil drained out, it kind of drained back down through the hole, went onto the top of the pulley. When I fired it up, oil everywhere. So here's the deal. I don't want to work on anything in here, and I'm waiting on parts for these two things anyway. So I'm going to put the hood back on this and shove it outside, and we're going to go get a project in here. We've got some bad weather coming, like later today and tomorrow. It's got snow in the forecast. That's not bad for me. I love snow. But anyway, I want to roll a project in here that I'm dying to work on. Let's go see what it is. All right, it's the one in the middle. So I'm going to push this one out. All right, let's get this thing in before we drown. All right, we got it in the shop without drowning. So this is between like a 2010, 2015, I didn't run the number yet, lawn tractor. It's an LT2000 Craftsman. It came with a 19.5 horse Briggs, or should I say it has what's left of a 19.5 horse Briggs. Now, when I bought this with two other mowers, sight unseen, I went up to pick it up. I had to make 2 trips, 100-mile round trips to get all 3 of them back, so I could only get 2 in my trailer if I really cram them in there. I was pretty disappointed in this one, being as I really thought it was just going to be like, throw a carburetor on it, tune it up, it'd be good. And as soon as I seen it was partially disassembled, I assumed, like all of these, it'd been run out of oil and it's got a broken rod, right? Well, every time I'd walk by this thing, even when it was still on my trailer, I'd take a closer look at it. Then I reached in and realized that the engine turns over. It's got a grinding noise. It's hitting something up here. Maybe the coil. Kind of looks like it. Kind of hear the pulley down below. Not really sure what's going on there, but need to look at it closer. And I thought, well, surely the rod is broke. And that's why somebody abandoned it. They wouldn't abandon it for like a bad starter or something. So I pulled the plug out, put a screwdriver in there, turned it over, and the piston goes up and down. So from then on, I'm like, I've got to know. Is this thing fixable or what? I'd spend some money on it. The rest of the tractors, it's a little rough around the edges, but it's there to make a nice little mower. But I wish I'd had time to get this thing to the car wash or thought about it, but again, we got weather turning here, so I was just glad to get it inside. So let's pull the hood off this thing, maybe jack it up a little bit, make it a little easier to work on. And let's start diving in and see what's going on with this machine. See if we can diagnose it, see if we can fix it. At this point, I have a few parts. I might have a starter that works for this. I'm not sure what all of them are compatible with what, and if the parts I have are any good. But if I have a few parts for this thing, it'll make life a little easier. If we have to order some stuff, I'm willing to gamble. At some point, I'd be willing to gamble on this little machine. So let's get the hood off. Let's get her jacked up. Let's get started on this thing. All right, let's blow the junk off of this motor. Hood's off, jacked up. Here we go. Let's get this party started. I plugged up the breather on the carburetor. This is interesting. It's supposed to be the full throttle wire here. Probably disconnect that. Holy crap. Man, what a mess. Grab me some safety glasses here. Get any of this stuff in my eye. Wow, I just swept too. Woo! Got her clean. All right, let's have a look at the oil. It's a little dirty, slightly over full. If it was all clean, it might meant somebody ran it out of oil, then put oil in it. That ain't the case. So I believe it's real. That is the pulley rubbing on the deck. Let me lower the deck. Wow. We have compression. Yes. What the heck? Still hear a little bit of grindy. I might like wire brush some of the surface rust off that flywheel just to get a little gap. I did try to adjust it the other day, and I think we're all the way out on the adjustment. So it might be just a little rust buildup. So let me take that off camera. All right, I got the wire brushed the flywheel, sprayed it down with some PB Blaster, wiped it off. Yeah. It's got good compression. It's got good compression. Now, no noise. Virtually no noise. God, wouldn't it be cool if this thing will run? Sorry, I've been way excited about this. I don't know why. I just geek out on stuff like this. So the starter's gone. I have some starters. I don't know if they're A, any good, B, if they'll fit. But they're off similar Briggs engines. Let me go sort out what I have, find one that works. I see some Einstein cut the wire. That's all right. We can, what the heck is that? Anyway, we'll sort it out. We'll get a new connector on that and put a starter on it. And we'll spin this thing over, see what the heck. Pretty excited. Pretty excited. If this thing runs. Woohoo. And it doesn't have a cowl either, but I have a cowl off a 17 horse. It has a different... I've looked a little bit on the internet, folks that are working on engines like this. It has a different deal here. It comes straight up in the bottom, uses a different filter, but I have this piece also. So we could switch the whole thing over and put a 17.5 horse cowl on this engine. And this is really cool, the throttle. I hope they didn't mess with the linkage. It doesn't look messed with, which is good. That stuff's hard to come by, at least for me. All right, I'm gonna go see if I can sort out a starter, get it put on, and we're gonna prepare to spin this engine over. All right, cool. Here comes the wind. I tell you, we got weather coming. It's supposed to wind and rain today, maybe a lot of rain, and it's getting with it at the moment. And tomorrow we got snow in the forecast. Thursday, it's just Tuesday, so tomorrow's snow in the forecast, and then Thursday night's supposed to get down in like 17, cold. So anyway, it's kind of fun to have a project like this working in, and you know, working under my 4 quartz heaters. So yeah, it's comfy in here, I'm telling you. All right, back in a little bit. All right, I found a starter, it bolted up. I oiled up the Bendix and stuff. I bench tested the starter, it works. I don't know if it's the right number of teeth, all that jazz. We'll find out together if this thing will turn over. So far, the wiring in this thing is a mess. Somebody's replaced the ignition switch with a push button, and there's a couple broken toggle switches, and etc. You see that right there. So I'm not sure what's going on. So we're gonna just jump straight to the starter. I rigged up a battery and the positive cable of my jumper cables. We'll just jump the starter directly and see if it turns over. If it turns over, we'll give it a shot of starter fluid, see if we get fire, or if the whole thing comes apart. I don't know. I tightened up the spark plug because I had it out. I only put it in figure tight, so that's tight. There's no boot on the spark plug end. Should be okay for now. We can fix that later. I'm excited. Let's do this. It would be crazy. I mean crazy if this thing run. Okay, see what happens. Crank away. Yep. I oiled up that starter and it just threw some of it at me. It cranks. I got it on my yellow shirt. That's what I get. I got an idea. I'm going to disconnect it from the rear, hook it to the starter, and then touch it back here. That's just so that the oil I put on the starter doesn't cover me again. That's if I can get it connected here. Like that. Now we'll just crank it a little bit here. From safe distance away. Doesn't sound bad. I have no idea if the ignition's grounded or not. I just don't have a clue. We're gonna do that. See if it busts. Bust off, buddy. That's crazy. That's crazy. That's just water. Oh my gosh. Who'd have thought? I broke this thing off immediately when I seen it that it was jump. Wow. I'm speechless. So the fuel line is just kind of hanging there. The fuel tank is empty, which is a good thing. We don't have to clean stuff out of it. I'm thinking we'll replace this fuel line, throw a filter on it, clean this mess up a little bit. And put some fuel to that carburetor, see what happens. That carburetor's going to have power to unlock that solenoid. It doesn't look old and crusty. Maybe it still works. Does it have power? I don't know. Take this thing one step at a time. Let's clean up the outside of that fuel tank so we can then change the fuel line and put some fuel in it. Woohoo! Wish that I got this to the car wash. What the heck? There's the tiniest little tie wrap you ever seen holding that thing in there. Let's get it out. We'll do it better later. Yeah, it's like 3 of them. All right, I'll do a better job of cleaning this tank. All right, the tank is clean inside and out. Got new fuel lines, a new fuel filter. We're gonna put a little bit of gas in this thing and see how that carburetor is and how the rest of the engine is and all that. Man, it's dirty. Non-ethanol. All right, what do you think? Place your bets. All right, I'm gonna let this down off the jack so that it's level. It's slow this morning. Okay, my positive cable's still hooked up to the starter. So we just got to go to the rear. All right, let's make it stinky in here, shall we? Throttle. That's the choke function. Hang on, let me lubricate this throttle stuff here. It's not working too good. All right, we're not going to fix that throttle in a couple minutes. It's been jacked with a little bit. So, all right, back to fired up. The choke does work. So there is choke. We just got to fix the rest of it somehow. Hey baby, are you gonna run? What happened? Lost connection. Oh, my cable came off. Stay put. Here we go. She's gonna go. She's gonna go. Okay, I'm gonna bet we don't have power to the carburetor. That's the ground. This wire, let me trace it out, see if we can jumper it. So it's a gray wire coming off the solenoid. Trace it over here, and yeah, it's just hanging here. Right here. So the whole wiring needs a sorting, but for the moment, let me grab a jumper wire and let's hook it up to the battery directly. One connection. See if we hear it click, the solenoid. I do not. Doesn't mean it's not working. Means I can't hear it from over here. Let's try again. Should not fiddle with the ground wire because we have the vehicle grounded. Work. Let's try it. Choke is on. Okay, we're gonna give it a little help. Little starting fluid. And then we'll look at this again. Yeah, just not getting fuel. Okay, let me do a little more digging. All right, when I hook up my jumper wire now, I re-strip the wire, just make sure I'm getting a good connection. It does draw a tiny arc, so the coil's good in the solenoid. Whether it's moving or not remains to be seen. We'll try it. If not, we'll pull that carburetor off. Little assistance. Take choke off. Solenoid shut it off. Ladies and gentlemen, it runs. Let me open the door up here. That's cool. That is super cool. It sounds good. Holy smokes. I always think it's crazy what folks will do with a machine. I mean, it's fun for me to get them and sort them out. Hey, there's a spider that doesn't like the fact his home just got 200 degrees. Um, it, they'll spend hours and hours jerry rigging something when they could really spend 15 minutes and fix it right, kind of deal. So, I mean, the wiring's a hack. How does it get to be this bad? And this is like one of the newest mowers I've ever had, to work on and such. And how did it get to be so bad? I don't know. Sorry I'm rambling, but it's kind of exciting to get it going. Let me think about this for a little bit, see what to do next. Yeah, I'm at a loss. So the solenoid's working now. I beat on it to death. And I unplugged it, which it ran just for a few more seconds and then shut itself off, which is what I expected. I didn't have any other way to shut it off. Oh boy, fun stuff. All right, let me get back. All right, I've been looking at this linkage. There was some more wire tied in here, messing it with everything. So took that wire off, and now we have throttle control. So when we move the lever on the dash, the cable moves. It puts spring tension on the governor arm. Okay, and when this thing fires up, it wants to restrict that spring. So the more throttle you give it, the more spring tension it gives it. And when it goes all the way forward, it'll push on the choke, which there was a wire on the choke as well. But the thing is, I believe this choke's working backwards. There's a spring in this carburetor, and it's backwards. Now, the cowl that I have for this won't use this. It just needs a 90 coming up in the bottom, and it uses a different filter. This uses one of those round filters, and the cowl that I have uses one of the flat filters, and it just comes up in the bottom. It doesn't have this 90. So this won't work with the cowl that I have. So I'm looking at this, and I realize, as soon as I start to pull it off, that this bolts the carburetor on. This is a stud. And then you put this on, and then you put a nut on. So this is holding this and the carburetor on, so it probably only has a couple of threads. And so we need to fix that as well. But I think what we have is possibly the wrong carburetor. However, this works, and the carburetor functions as it should, but there should be spring tension this direction to hold the choke open. Now, what's the easiest thing to probably do is to buy the correct carburetor for it, but let's see if we can make this thing better, and if we need to order a carburetor, we will. Want to make sure the cowl fits and all that, because cowls are expensive. And I didn't find the exact cowl like on eBay used. I found ones like I already have that are for, I think the one I have is for 17 horse. So let me, yeah. So we just got to take this plastic air cleaner adapter thing off. Come on out of there. And then bolt the carburetor on with the studs as it's supposed to be. And then we can bolt the replacement air cleaner adapter on it that I have just taken off of a parts machine. And while I was at it, I grabbed the nuts that's supposed to be there. Come on. Somebody want to grab that gasket before it hits the ground? Okay. That's off. Let's put this back on for the whole thing. Okay. Click. Click. 40 inch-pounds. So you can see these bolts are semi-flush to the carburetor. And let me reach over you here and grab this adapter gizmo here, which then hopefully fits here. Okay. Grab that gasket that I dropped. All right, that wasn't a gasket at all. It was metal, and it's, I don't know what that is. It's gonna restrict the air going in it. We ain't using it. This has a little O-ring on it. I'm sure it'll seal good enough. It's got a spot to plug this tube into. Little crankcase ventilation there. So let's put it on. Like I said, I grabbed the nuts off the parts machine so they'd be correct. And I cleaned up the cowl that I had. See, this has a big enough hole that goes over those 8mm headed bolts, studs. These are 11mm. I believe. And then that should allow the cowl that I already have to fit. Click. Click. 25 inch-pounds. Here we go. I'm just throwing numbers out. Don't quote me on that. Alright, so here's the cowl that I have. And I've cleaned it up. This is the spot where this should pop through. I hope it fits. Hey, yeah. That's good. Okay, I was hoping it would fit. Obviously there's a filter that goes here. There it is. And the filter cover, which I also have, goes here. Like so. Alright. So I have to come up with the bolts. They were a shoulder bolt, and I got to fix that sheet metal flange on that side. Okay, we're making some progress. So, I feel the need to fire it up again and stink up the place. Yeah. And just to confirm the choke situation, I'm pretty sure it's the wrong carburetor. In fact, I'm going to go out and look at the parts machine and I'll be right back. Alright, I haven't gone anywhere. We have an issue in that the choke is hitting this. So, we're not out of the woods yet. I don't know that these are separatable. Very interesting. Let me fiddle. No, we're okay. I readjusted this. The holes are just a little bit big, so I pushed it down and it clears. It's fine. The downside is right now the choke is on and it should be open. So I'd say somebody put a carburetor on it, because it is nice and clean, and they did do this wrong. And what we need to do is order the correct carburetor for it. So I'll do that. In the meantime, we'll work on more of this machine. So I'm going to get into the wiring. So it's going to be a little boring for you, but I'll get into the wiring piece of this thing. See what I can figure out somebody has done. I'll be back. So just for fun, I threw a spring on here temporarily to hold the choke open. The throttle, as it comes all the way up, will close the choke. And this way I can start. I just want to make sure I have full throttle control and everything works well. I actually ordered another carburetor. Said if I order it in the next 50 minutes, it'll be here tomorrow. Don't you love Amazon? Anyway, so 14 bucks. Got another carburetor coming. It is correct. I looked at the picture, and this lever is in this position. Choke is open when linkage isn't attached. This one has a spring, again, that wants to shut it. So it was set up for a different linkage. It's just the wrong carburetor. Good carburetor. It worked. It idled and everything. But anyway, and I just want to run this engine again. And I'm going to run till lunch, so you'll have a chance to defume the shop while I'm gone. So let's start it up. Let's put the cowl on first. Just like that. And let's fire it up again. Okay. Choke. Wheel. Oh, I need to put the hot wire back on the fuel solenoid. Yep. It started working after I beat it to death. Alright, drew a spark. A little spark. Alright, choke's on. There. Fire hole. Adjust the idle down a little bit. Let's take the cowl back off. So we have no issues running the cowl. That's good, because this saves me like 50 bucks. I want to, oh yeah, my spring's in the way. I want to back the idle off. Just see if it'll idle down a little bit. Let's try this again. Put the solenoid back up. Skinny by you. Let's try it without a choke. Okay. I'm gonna try to straighten that linkage out a little bit, because the linkage is holding it from idling slower. Try to take all the little bends out of it. Okay. I keep having to walk around the camera here. Like went slow enough to die on its own, didn't it? Okay, let's try again. There we go. I actually got it too slow. Try that. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, die. Runs quite a bit with the fuel in the carburetor system. Die, I say. Guess it takes a while longer running slower. Show you. Well guys, this has been a lot of fun. I have enjoyed grabbing this whole thing and making it run, and knowing that I even had the parts to put it together. It's been pretty cool. So I think I'm gonna have to spend some time with the wiring. That's gonna be pretty boring. So I think we're gonna end the video here. Guys, thanks for watching. Appreciate any comments and so forth. Please give me a thumbs up on the way out. Let's try to get the video seen by more than 100 people. I do these videos absolutely for free, but there's a little bit of effort that goes into it. It would be nice to get more than a few people to watch it. And all you got to do is just hit a thumbs up and make YouTube present this video to others. So guys, thanks again for hanging out with me. And we'll catch you on the next video.